we'll get all the details later and we'll head on out to the portal another time. And then it's the idea of, do you want your image portalized over to whatever city they're connecting to around the world? Watch, it's like it'll be the Ukraine, or if it's the Ukraine, then they have to bring down the dancers like Vic White and everything from whatever it is, so you think you can dance and all that other stuff. If he comes down, I want to know, because I want him, I want to see if I get a lot of views. But should I go this way? Well, so we are CVS. The Drake. The moon. I bought Levan cookies last week or whatever just to check it out because it's a new store. It's technically, they were born and raised in New York, and then they have stores throughout like Bethesda, Washington DC, LA, Chicago, the Hamptons, New York City, now Philadelphia. I'm sure there's a town I'm missing in there, but I think it's interesting they have one in Bethesda, Maryland. But anyway, I tried it last week. I know they have Mojo and Magic, because I wanna go back and get one. The problem is they're like $5.25 or higher for a single cookie, so I can't do that. Like, I won't do it. It's actually by principle, but maybe around Thanksgiving I'll get one, just because there's so much sugar. Also, it's a thing. Like a latte I would get from Starbucks if I had a gift card. I wanted to mail something and I left it on my couch, and it kind of ticks me off because I wanted to be able to mail it this morning, but that's okay. I'll have to go back later and go in and out of my building just to mail it. So anyway, it kind of ticks me off a little bit that I remembered that. I'm hoping it's sitting there on the, if not, I'll just get a new one. Anyway, so Levan cookie kind of has that magic where you keep thinking about it and you want to go back and get one. It's a thing. It's like kind of a novelty thing, but I have a feeling it's like a 7-Eleven. It even has hours from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. It's one of those things where it's like, it's central to a neighborhood where a whole bunch of people live who would buy. So there are people who don't have as much money as, say, people directly on Rittenhouse Square, smack dab on the square. They might not come out to buy it as often unless it's someone's daughter or whatever. But around here, you'd be surprised. Some of these homes look okay from the outside. They're really like ghetto apartments. It's so funny. I've been in some of these places. I'm like, I can't believe what they get away with. These landlords, unbelievable how ghetto some of these apartments are. So they would be targeting people who are sitting around 11 o'clock at night and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna get or 10:30, I'm gonna get a Levan cookie. I feel like getting a Levan cookie. So that's who comes in. Most of these are ghetto inside. You'd be shocked. There's like one or two that are really nice, and then all the rest is just like, are you kidding? So they house a lot of students, so they don't have to, you know, they gave up on maintenance years ago for students. They just sort of keep them low level in case there's too much damage or what have you. Philly relies heavily on students, and anyone left living here, it's just like a university town. So the people left living here are kind of have a certain mind, and they're just used to having students. We'll leave it at that. Sometimes it might be better to live in an area where there isn't a major university, just because everybody has to be something, something, and so forth and so on. All right, so here we go. So the guy I was talking about, whose image seems to be that of the circus show creator at Uptown, he lives on this street. Hi, how are you? He lives on this street, anyway, we have been on that street many times, so recognize Linda and Nancy. So Nancy in crutches, and Linda is the other person with her dog, a Portuguese water dog. So they were supposed to, I was going to be hired to walk her and her husband's dog and dogs. They have another small dog. And I was so excited. This was a couple summers ago, and I was like, yes, because I would have made like $1,600 or similar, because they were going away for so long, but they had to change and cancel their plans. Now, depending on time, like advance notice and stuff like that, I've had to, in the past, I created a cancellation charge, like in some cases. Oh, they have a little bird bath here. If it's really late notice, like 24 hours notice, and people cancel, I charge half, so that they don't lose half and I don't lose half. You know, in a way, if it is a business, so if you're reliant on getting paid, you can't have people canceling left and right. I was so upset. I was like, oh, I need that. I so need that to pay rent and everything. And that's the downside of, I was actually forced into dog walking. It's hard to explain. We can do the math. We can sit down sometime and I'll show you exactly what happened. And then to try to get back into the world of safety, security without being slaughtered is, and also if you've been traumatized so much, the last thing that needs to happen to me is to sit down and interview with someone who doesn't know anything at all about how the world works in reality. There's nothing worse than having to be interviewed by someone who's dumber than you, right? No offense, but I experienced so much. It's like, I can't put up with people who are making a lot of money to sit there to be morons who are always testing people, and they haven't even been tested themselves. I'll put a test to them. Looks like there's a black hoodie night thing all the way up here on the, kind of curious, I guess it's like a grill, like a cover for a grill or a motorbike, and it's just sort of blown up by the air. But in a way, it looks like the Knights of Templar. Like if there were the opposite, of the KKK, that would be it. You know what I mean? Like a Dave Chappelle skit. Remember that? Dave Chappelle was like the head of the KKK, but he was blind. And in his skit, he pulls off the hood, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's actually, black or African American. And it was like, oh my God, he's been, all this time he's been, espousing all these beliefs by the KKK. Dave Chappelle, but he wound up gang stalked. So check into his story. I actually liked him. And I started experiencing stuff, and then he went up on Oprah, and I was like, he knows what it is. So, okay, have a great day.